Shields, when it comes to gear, passion, and sports, we're right there with you. Presents an Elbert Outdoors video production. Wildlife Pursuit.
It's really a do-it-yourself hunt. We're certainly out here on our own.
What a great experience. What a wonderful experience.
As heavy as these clouds are, they're ready to spit and sputter at any minute. Okay, get ready. This is the same spot that we have been a couple times today. We knew that they were in this river bottom. We spotted that buck early this morning. We just decided to back out. The weather is really starting to progress, not in a good way.
What do you think, Chad?
Let them turn.
As I think about this week's title of New Traditions, I think it's important to share a little bit about how we got to this point. Now, over the past 5 years of producing Wildlife Pursuit, we've traveled many miles going from state to state to be on those hunts and hopefully capture that footage and bring it home and share it with you. Now, during those trips, we're often not at home, where maybe those traditions once were. So as we try to embark on the next season and the next adventures, it's really my goal to create new traditions year after year in different ways, and that's what this week's show is all about. We're going to share some time in Montana with my mom on a long-distance hunt. We're going to be joined by my brother. To me, that's our new tradition, taking my mom on long-distance hunts. So as I think more about traditions for you, for our viewers, and for those who love the outdoors, it doesn't really matter what it is or how you do it. It's really having that thing that you call your family tradition, or the thing that you can always count on to create that memory in the outdoors.
Wildlife Pursuit, brought to you by Shields. Ready for your next adventure? Welcome to Shields. The best brands, quality gear, and expert advice. Shields. Wildlife Pursuit, brought to you by Danner. The craft is in the details, using only the best materials, made to last, proven on every journey. Danner, crafting higher standards.
Now, what started in 2011 and continued into 2012 is now a new tradition of my brother and I taking my mom on an out-of-state long-distance hunt. Now, the interesting thing about hunting out-of-state is the specific regulations related to hunter education. Now, my mom's been grandfathered in the state of North Dakota, but that does not work in other states. So in the summer of 2012, my mom entered into a local hunter education class. It was a great refresher. She handled some new guns. She got a good update, if you will, on gun handling and all the safety issues around hunter education.
And when they hand it to you this way and you take it, you have to say thank you.
You have to say thank you.
It's an acknowledgement that you got it.
Okay. Now, she's ready to go on her next out-of-state hunt.
Jesse, you want ringer?
One wrong. I didn't ace it, but I'll take it.
Now, having hunted for over 30 years, my mom has certainly had success in the outdoors. But in the summer of 2012, she took it one step further. To increase her marksmanship and comfort with guns in the outdoors, she reached out to a local professional, Brent Hansen, to really gain that additional comfort, that shooting ability that maybe she's always wanted, where when she goes into the outdoors, she knows when she has that opportunity, it will be hers.
My name is Brent Hansen. I am a hunter's education instructor, a pistol and rifle coach, and a volunteer out here at the Red River Regional Marksmanship Center located in West Fargo, North Dakota. The best tips out there are learning to breathe, learning to control your trigger pull and your sight alignment. They revolve around all the basics that there is during hunting, but if you can get your heartbeat down just a little bit, your breathing a little bit more controlled, and focus on one specific spot on the animal or the target that you're going to shoot at, not shooting at just the large mass quantity or the mass of the animal. And by training, by proper instruction, trigger control, sight alignment, and breathing, that'll give you a one-shot kill on your animal. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we try to teach.
So we've passed our test. We have the hunter education certificate in hand. We spent some time at the range and brushed up on our skills. I think my mom's truly ready to go to Montana and find some success with a deer. Well, Mom should be landed by now. There she is. Hey, you made it.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. How's your flight?
Oh, it was pretty uneventful, but I'm looking forward to this.
Experience.
You ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Montana bound?
Yeah.
Well, I was certainly excited to get started on this next trip and greet my mom as she flew in from Washington, D.C., that 6-hour flight. Now we're going with that theme. After finding some success in 2011 in Wyoming with her antelope hunt, the theme of creating a tradition of hunting out of state. We get the Suburban packed up, we got the Hunt V loaded, we're headed 9 hours west to the Wolf Point, Montana area with the goal, getting my mom her first ever Montana whitetail. November 7th, so we are definitely in the prime time of hunting season all across the Midwest, all across the U.S. for that matter, and we are on our way to Montana. We're just blowing through Dickinson right now. Should be out to Wolf Point, where we're going to call home base for a few days. And we'll be hunting along some river bottom and up in the break, so we'll really have the ability to hopefully get a good look at a mule deer or a whitetail. We're going to be battling some weather. There's a major winter storm coming in from the west. Blizzard warning later tomorrow and in all the way through Saturday. That's the prime heart of our hunting, so we're really going to put all our eggs in the Thursday basket tomorrow and hope that we can find them tomorrow morning and get on them. Well, we're back to a familiar place. This is the same chunk of land that we have access to hunt on. Kind of a neat situation for us. We've done a lot of work with Hidden Valley Outfitters over the years, and this is a lease that Tracy has. What's really unique about this lease, something I guess that I really like, is it's really a do-it-yourself hunt. It is land that we have access to, but we're certainly out here on our own. Going to chase around these mule deer and these whitetails for the next 3-4 days. Beautiful morning so far, and I think Mom's ready.
As long as the temperature stays like it is right now, and if we don't get too much snow, I think it'll be a really good day.
The property we were hunting was a little over 7,000 acres in the Wolf Point area of Montana, right along the Missouri River. A beautiful piece of both river bottom and breaks.
You have a mix of whitetails and mule deer here. Muley's more in the hills, whitetails commonly down in the river bottom, coming off the egg fields back down to bed. So we're going to start here, and then we're just going to work our way south slowly. Glassing, trying to find those mule deer. If we don't see a whitetail we like, or as heavy as these clouds are, they're ready to spit and sputter at any minute. Let's do it. This is the same spot that we have been a couple times today. We knew that they were in this river bottom. We spotted that buck early this morning. We just decided to back out, check some other places. I've located him again, but I'm not really sure if it's that buck and does or who it is, but the weather is really starting to progress, not in a good way. It's really hard to keep the optics clean, camera dry, so I want to get up here. We got at least an hour and a half, so we don't have to push it, but we'll at least get a look at what we're after here.
As we headed out on this Montana hunt, we were very aware what the weather forecast looked like for the next few days. The probability of a weather front moving in was very high. Now it's only the first day, and certainly that was the fact. The weather front was starting to move in, conditions were getting worse. Now we had located a pretty decent mule deer buck. Mom's tag was good for either or, whitetail or mule. We decided let's take a good look at this deer and see if it's something she wants to go after.
I think that we're in a pretty good spot. Wind feels pretty good. I'll just check it here. Yeah, it's real good. Because they should be right over the hill. Wind's in our face. I'll check it a few more times. Make sure it doesn't switch with the storm coming in. It's a little lower in the brush. We'll try to get to there. .423. You on him? Okay, I'm gonna kneel and then I'm gonna stand. Okay, I'm gonna stand. Okay, get ready. Let him turn. Stay on him.
Well, as that mule deer buck got up and ran away, never really presenting my mom with a great shot, a couple of things actually happened during that hunt. First of all, we were able to get close enough to get my mom into position and to be ready to take that shot. I felt pretty good as her guide, if you will, to make that happen and to get her ready for what the rest of the days might look like doing spot and stock hunting. It was also a good opportunity for my mom to take a true assessment of a deer and decide if it's something that she truly wanted. In the end, she elected to pass. Now we're headed into day 2, and as we figured, Mother Nature's coming in with full force.
Wildlife Pursuit. Brought to you by Dead Downwind, a premium supplier of quality scent prevention products. Real science, real results.
In the fall of 2012, I was very fortunate to be able to take my mom to Montana on this long distance hunt with the goal in mind of creating these new traditions. Just a few days into the hunt, Mother Nature blew in a nasty storm and actually forced us home on day 2. Now what also happened in 2012, my mom was able to go out and complete her hunter education course and get that certificate that's often required in other states when you're hunting on these long distance hunts. She also spent some time in the range improving her marksmanship, so when that opportunity would potentially arise on one of these hunts, she would be ready. Now we're setting the stage for round 2. We're headed back to Montana. Now on this trip, my brother's gonna pick her up because we're gonna meet him in Montana, we're gonna join up and hopefully get a Montana deer.
Just on our way up to the airport to get Grandma Ruth.
Fargo Hector International Airport to pick up Mom. She just flew in, so we'll get her and hit the big slab and head west.
Well, it was a pretty cool feeling to meet up with my mom and my brother in the Wolf Point area, hunting on this land right along the Missouri River. We were there with one goal in mind, to try to get my mom a Montana deer.
Chad and I are hunting a land for today, maybe a day or so, and we're going to see what we can find out here. Last time we were here, it was 20 to 30 mile an hour winds, and it was sleeting and snowing, and so this is an absolutely beautiful day. Looking forward to seeing what's out there.
Now, during this week-long hunt, we often spent time hunting as a group, all four of us, especially when we were back in the breaks. Then when we moved down into the river bottoms, especially during the evening hunts, we'd often break up into two separate groups looking for those whitetails. Now, it's the end of day 3. I know that they've been seeing some whitetails on the prior evening and the morning of, and they're hoping to get it done.
Well, it's about 2:30, and we are headed to go post by the ag fields. We'll have a little different outlook when we get down there. We're going to be looking for whitetail deer, which we did see this morning. I have a Montana tag that allows me to shoot either mule deer or whitetail. And what we saw in mule deer today was slim pickings, but we have seen some nice whitetail. So that's what we're headed for this afternoon, is a nice whitetail.
Well, it had taken a few days of ongoing intel and lots of scouting to determine where these whitetails were coming out. And what they determined was they were coming out in the evenings feeding on these grain fields. Now, they had positioned themselves a couple different spots during the 3 days, and now they felt like they were locked and loaded, ready and waiting for those whitetails to come out. Let's see what happens.
What do you think, Chad? What? Yep. Really?
I did the kick. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think he went down.
Well, I didn't see him again.
He did the kick and then he ran to the right and then he... Yes. Hey,
You think?
I think he's down. I
Phew.
think so. I haven't seen him.
Well, I haven't either.
When I think about the success that my mom just achieved, it takes me back to the preparation that she did in the summer of 2012 to get ready for these hunts. The first thing that she did is she went out and achieved her hunter education certificate. Now, it wasn't necessary for Montana, but it got her ready for other states that we would travel to. She also spent considerable time in the range. She wanted to make sure that her marksmanship was dialed in. So when that opportunity presented itself, she was ready. I think we can say she got it done.
Well, I did it. After 3 days of sneaking and crawling and peeking, we came up on this guy, took one shot, and he was down. It's a nice deer. It's, I think it's probably one of the nicer ones I've ever taken. It's a whitetail. It's been a great 3 days. I've been hunting side by side with my son Chad. Jeremy is here. What a great experience. What a wonderful experience.
Well, I can remember this moment almost as it happened yesterday, coming on my mom and my brother and congratulating them on the hunt. We could hear the shot go off from the other part of the ranch as we were hunting there as well. And I can remember us joking about how big is this deer, and Chad said, oh, he's okay. And when we finally went and got a good look at him, I was shocked. It was truly a giant Montana whitetail, the biggest ever my mom's taken. Regardless of the size, once again, we had established a new tradition. We were on a long distance hunt, and most importantly, we were enjoying that time together. We found some great success in Montana as my mom harvested her first ever Montana whitetail. I really believe we created the framework for our new traditions as my brother and I took her on that long distance hunt and we enjoyed those moments in the outdoors together. There's two things I really take away about traditions. If you have those in your life today, continue to embrace them and reinforce them. And if you do not, think about ways to create a tradition. There are many ways to do that. It will become something that you remember on a regular basis, and it'll be that one moment in the outdoors that you will always look forward to. As always, we love sharing these stories with you.
Wildlife Pursuit is brought to you by Dead Downwind, Elite Archery, G5, Gold Tip, Danner, Lacrosse, Clam, Onyx, and Tenzing.